I represent one voice out of many from my generation, and what I have to say may fundamentally challenge everything that you've been brought up to believe in. But don't just believe in everything that I say. Think about it for yourself and consider what you choose to believe in as your personal truth. Take for instance, we now know that a degree is by no means a guarantee of a job, and that the job is no longer a promise of a better life. This is an observation by baby boomers who saw people with degrees getting more comfortable jobs and being better able to provide for their families. Today, there is no longer an overwhelming advantage of being a degree holder, but why then do we still hold on to this belief as though our entire lives depended on it? Perhaps we have made too many promises and overemphasized the importance of paper qualifications, to the point where we feel that we cannot afford to burst that bubble of an illusion for fear that it will fundamentally challenge everything that we know and hold to be true, and leave us scrambling in the dark for something to hold on to and make sense of. The truth is, the education system is imperfect. It is designed to benefit certain people with certain intelligence types. You can get away with looking clever simply by relying on your factual, analytical, numeric, and linguistic intelligence. But what about athletic, musical, interpersonal, emotional, intuitive, practical, and spatial intelligence? We need to start embracing a wider definition of intelligence, and we need to recognize that the education system is a mere component of an entire ecosystem of learning and development platforms. It is up to each and every one of us to take personal responsibility in exploring how best we can make the most out of these different learning and development platforms. And it is up to us to seize and create opportunities from which we can supplement and complement our own learning and development. If it's not a job that we're after, what are we looking for? Is money the ultimate measure of success? I don't think so, because the pure pursuit of money for its own sake is meaningless, and meaning is the new currency. If there's a big picture of all the things that truly matter in life, money will be just one object in that picture, alongside other things like meaning, relationships, fulfillment, growth, happiness, impact, and all the other things that you deem to be important in your life. The days of being able to pay someone to stay in a lousy job is over, and not everything can be adequately compensated for in its monetary equivalent. It is all too easy for us to fall into the trap of what we know as the rat race, but is it really necessary for us to compete at everything all the time in order for us to succeed later on in life? The answer is no. Stop competing unnecessarily at things that you're neither good at nor interested in. Stop feeling like you need to for the fear that you will lose out if you don't. Stop competing unnecessarily at the things that you're neither good at nor passionate about. The reason you exist is not for you to feel lousy, incompetent, and useless about the things that you're neither good at nor passionate about. You're here because the world needs you to be the best at what you're both good at and passionate about. Define your niche based on your strengths, passions, and talents. These are your rules, and these are rules that are so biased towards you they'll be unfair for anyone to try and compete with you on these exact same terms. When you become an expert in your niche, it becomes inevitable that you have to collaborate with someone who is good at something that you cannot do in order to create something that is much greater than what you're individually capable of creating. And that, my friend, is what collaboration is all about. How many of you have been given career advice where you've been advised to say what the interviewer wants to hear in order to get a job? I think that's utter rubbish, and it's the clearest sign that we have mistaken job interviews for oral examinations with model answers. There is no model answer, and there is no right answer. Stop feeling insecure about yourself. Stop feeling like you have to hide parts of yourself in order to fit into this predefined box of criteria in order to get a job or stay in one that you currently have. Your ability to do great work and create value depends on you being able to turn up every single day as the most authentic representation of who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to achieve. Can a bird without wings fly? How can you express your best ideas and do your best work if your wings are clipped and your freedom stifled? We should all stop this pretense because there is no longer such a thing as lifelong employment or job security. Blind loyalty is overrated, and an alignment of vision, values, and goals is much more appreciated. It is in everyone's best interest for us to be authentic about who we are, what we can do, and where we want to go, because only then can we really begin to start finding the right person for the right theme at the right time in order to create value together. What about the concept of work-life balance? Is there such a thing? I think work-life in itself implies that work comes before life and that you only truly start living after working hours and on the weekends. Work shouldn't come at the expense of life. Instead, we should think of it from the other way around and look at it as life work instead. Everything that you're doing now is done so with the intention of creating what can be eventually defined as your life's work. You are your life's greatest project, and you're responsible for expanding your capacity to create positive impact in this world through the work that you choose to do. When you pursue your life's work and goals, there will be times along the way where you will fall short, you will fail, and you'll get criticized. And I don't think it should be a scary or humiliating thing for you to try for something and fail. You don't have to be right all the time. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. You are not defined by the one bad decision you made in your life. Your life is a series of decisions, and you're defined by your ability to learn from the bad decisions you made along the way, and your ability to adapt and pivot yourself in the right direction in the face of new information. Each time you step outside of your comfort zone to try something new, regardless of whether you succeed or fail, you will have a new story to share. But who are you to share your story, and what makes you qualified to do so? I think the better question to be asking is, who are you not to? If you have had the privilege of experiencing something inspirational, life-changing, and have as a result grown tremendously from the experience, it is your responsibility to share what you've learned, and it will be selfish for you not to. If we can put aside our ego and realize that the act of sharing our ideas, ideals, insights, and experiences is really not about trying to show off how good you are and what you have achieved, but to instead do so with the genuine intention to contribute value towards what can be best described as a common knowledge pool, then perhaps we can start to realize the immense potential for peer-to-peer learning, where we can gain confidence from stories of how other people have overcome similar challenges in their lives, and to also draw inspiration from the various different newer ways of solving problems and doing things. Now that I've come to the end of my message, what do you choose to believe in? What is the kind of world you like to live in? And what is the kind of work you like to be doing? I like to live in a world where each and every intelligence type is accepted and embraced, and every individual is able to realize their fullest potential by taking personal responsibility for their own learning and development. I like to live in a world where money isn't the most important thing, and everyone is able to create value and impact through their life's work, which is based on what they're passionate about and good at, while pursuing collaborations with other people by being authentic about who they are and what they stand for. I like to live in a world where failure is an event, not a person, and everyone is able to put aside their ego and realize that there's so much more we can learn from each other as we embark on a journey to create our individual pathways towards what we personally define as a successful and meaningful life. That's what I like to believe in. What about you?